Parents, have you noticed that lately it seems that your entire family is not just wound up and stressed out, but nowadays it seems everyone is just downright exhausted, constantly sick, burnt out, and just over the top emotional? Maybe it started because of the classic fast paced life that each family seems to get stuck in once our kids reach school age and all of that homework, sports, and extracurriculars kick in. Then perhaps if anyone in your family struggles with health or behavioral challenges as well, your calendar is also chock full of doctor and therapy appointments, and you're pretty much running left and right every single day, every single week. No wonder so many of us are not just stressed out these days, but we're both wound up and worn out, exhausted. If that sounds like you and your family, then this is a must-watch video, as we're going to be walking through the 3 progressive stages of subluxation and nervous system dysregulation, which it's what happens when your nervous system gets stuck in fight or flight stress mode, becomes disorganized and dysfunctional, and eventually just becomes flat, worn out, and exhausted. While so many of us, we work hard every day on our health in the form of diet, exercise, taking supplements, using essential oils, and so forth, for most families, there is one massively overlooked and essential component of health that we're all struggling with: an overstressed, worn out, exhausted nervous system. When the nervous system gets out of balance, becomes dysregulated and dysfunctional, we call it subluxation. So while we always think of chronic stress and exhaustion as something that only adults or maybe teenagers are going through, in today's perfect storm environment where stress and toxins show up as early as our fertility, pregnancy, and early childhood journeys, even young kids are stressed, disorganized, and exhausted more than ever before. And the earlier the stress, the toxins, and the trauma show up in a child's life, the faster they go through what we call the 3 stages of subluxation. The first response that the body and the nervous system have to stress is always the same. It shifts immediately into what's called a sympathetic fight or flight protective response. This is stage 1 of subluxation. Then, that fight or flight mode, it's supposed to only be activated for a short period of time while we handle the stressor that's in front of us. But for many kids and families today, the stressors are constantly there. So the nervous system gets shifted and stuck in sympathetic overdrive, and it stays there. This first stage, it gets even worse because when our nervous system is stuck in nonstop fight or flight mode, that means it's not operating in what's called the parasympathetic rest, relax, and regulate mode. This is when we start struggling with basic health functions like sleep, digestion, immune health, and social emotional regulation. And that's what we call stage 2 of subluxation. It's disorganization and dysregulation. For kids, this is the stage of subluxation that really starts to alter their overall neurological development, especially when it comes to motor milestones. When that nervous system is disorganized and dysfunctional, it greatly alters motor tone, but also coordination. And both of those are essential for brain development in kids, especially in the first years of life. Stage 3 of subluxation, then, is neurological exhaustion. If you have ever heard of someone who struggles with thyroid issues, metabolic syndrome, adrenal fatigue, this stage of subluxation is the real root cause of those endocrine issues. We used to only see this stage of subluxation in adults and in some teenagers who'd been through the full perfect storm, but now we see it way too often in young children, including even a few infants who had severely difficult births and they suffered birth trauma. So, how do we shift gears and kickstart neurological healing and restoration? The good news is, especially for those stressed out and worn out families today, we can help. Taking care of subluxation and neurological dysfunction is 100% exactly what we do every day at Foundations. The first step in neurological healing is simply getting the body unstuck and out of that first stage, out of that sympathetic dominance. From there, our neurological restoration care plans, they seek to rebuild and to restore optimal and healthy neurological pathways and function within the body. And patients then begin to sleep better. They have more energy, improved digestive health, stronger immune function, improved metabolism and endocrine function, and kids get back on track with their development and with their milestones. So, the first step in finding what stage of subluxation you or your child may be in is taking an in-depth case history and consultation. Then from there, we use an incredible piece of cutting-edge technology in our office called the Insight scans. Those can measure and detect exactly what stage of subluxation that you or your child are in, and it'll tell us how severe is it so that we can build a personalized and customized care plan to address each stage of subluxation and dysfunction that's going on in the body. To learn more about the 3 stages of subluxation, about neurologically focused chiropractic care, about what we do in our office, and so much more, check out our other videos or send us a comment below. We would be happy to help.